So I fucked up. I went. I, I I I paused the recording, and believe it or not, the pause button is right next to the stop recording button, and I think you can guess which one I accidentally clicked. So that's awesome. So now this is going to be at least 2 videos. I say at least 2 because, you know, I don't want to assume that I won't make that mistake again. Only here would that ever happen. Fix this. Okay. The way I wrote specs makes it look like Spurs. S-P-E-R-S. Yeah. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Spreads. Max speed, max special attack. What else is new? EVs. I'm not even gonna fucking bother. I'm gonna save some room on the paper. I'm gonna help save a tree, you know? Like Mr. Beast. Okay. So moves. We see Dark Pulse at 92.8%. What a surprise. So Draco isn't as common as I thought it would be. Maybe it's not used on nasty plot sets. Maybe they run Dragon Pulse on those sets, but I don't see Dragon Pulse here. So that's really interesting. I mean, if you're not running Draco, you know, what are you doing? So Flash Cannon is the most... Okay, hold on. Draco, that is a horrible D. That almost looks like a P. Draco is, okay, 67%. Sometimes no dragon move. Okay, Flash Cannon is the most common coverage option on a Hydreigon. That's really interesting. Because pre-home UU, Iron Jugulus was really good, and it played very similarly to Hydreigon. Except you wouldn't really use like Nasty Plot or whatever, you just use either Booster Energy or Specs and just clean up late game. But you'd typically run, you know, Dark Pulse, Hurricane, U-Turn, and then your coverage option would almost always be Earth Power. But Flash Cannon, why is that? For Weavile, I guess? But, I mean, it's not like you're gonna stay in on it. Maybe if you have Scarf and you don't die to Ice Shard? I guess if you're really that scared of Galarian Weezing. Okay, Galarian Weezing's surprisingly common. Well, I didn't know that. I hadn't really seen much of it out on the ladder. But hey, you know, that might also be skewed by a new toy syndrome, given the time at which the drops happened and like the circumstances and everything. So yeah, Flash Cannon is the most common coverage option. Flash Cannon is more common than other coverage. Stealth Rock, okay. Stealth Rock for lead sets. I have to imagine, right? Well, I don't know why I wrote sub like that. Sub plus nasty plus. Okay. So, yeah. I'm just surprised that people wouldn't fit Dragon Pulse. I mean, I get it if you don't want to run Draco, but I mean, on a sub nasty plot set, I guess if you really need the coverage that bad. But then again, I was looking at Galarian Weezing. Hydreigon doesn't seem that easy to wall. It doesn't look to have that many answers, you know, lest it not be high tier. Whatever. I mean, hey, that's not a guide on what to use. It's just saying what other people are using. Okay, so okay. So you typically see it paired with Iron Treads and Tornadus, of course, because they're fucking everywhere. Ogie Dogie. Okay, so Ogie Dogie helps break down the fairy. It helps break down Meowscarada. Yeah, so does that. It helps break. It just helps against steel types. So maybe if you pair it with Ogie Dogie, you don't have to. You don't have to run Earth Power in that case, or Flamethrower, right? Because you have Ogie Dogie to cover that. Yeah, given the teammates Slowking, you know, Aloe, Sinistra, it looks like it's seen on more balanced kinds of teams, which is good to know. I could be completely wrong. I mean, it's really just conjecture. But, I mean, hey, you don't see Ogie Dogie on Hyper Offense, really, just because it doesn't have the speed to justify a place there. But, yeah. Okay, so it's paired with. Okay, yeah, it's paired with Glowking, or not Glowking, Slowking. because it has chili reception to help bring it in. And I guess that makes sense, right? Because with all the fighting moves running around and all the really good fighting types in the tier, whatever, having a psychic type that can, you know, pseudo teleport, you know, a la Sword and Shield, into the Hydreigon is really useful. So that makes sense. Paired with fighting types. And then yeah. I mean, it does just look like it fits more on balanced teams, right? They can help break down, you know, your Rotom, your Rotoms, your Scizors, your Slowkings, that kind of stuff. I mean, I'd buy it, right? So this kind of helps. Let's see. Helps beat bulky cores. I want to see something. Hydreigon. Let's go Choice Scarf for now. Iron Hands. I keep calcing against Iron Hands as if it's like the pinnacle of the paragon rather of defense. Choice specs, yeah. I guess it kills after rocks, right? A lot of the time. If it's just like a life orb. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter if it's... Okay. Whatever. Yeah, so it just breaks down those bulky cores. Some more specific examples. Let's see. I guess... I mean, surely it beats Treads. I've been using it to, like, switch into Treads mid-game. Because, you know, if I don't feel like I need my item on Hydreigon, you know, I switch in. You know, I get knocked, whatever. I can't get EQ'd, and Ice Spinner won't be doing much, right? Booster energy, I guess. Because it's cringe. Ice Spinner. That's not the Kelk I'm used to seeing. Yeah. Wait, no. Okay, so a lot of them are max attack. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Okay, Ice Spinner can max attack Ice Spinner to goes Hydreigon. Okay. What else does Hydreigon deal with? Sandy Shocks. I'm a big fan of anything that can answer Sandy shocks. Also, you know, you deal with Volcanion pretty well too, right? I mean, again, it's very good for a reason, but I don't think there's anything else that's super worth noting here. It's just a nice option to help clear the way for a sweeper, for example. So Iron Hands. I forgot, okay. Well, I fucked up. But that was just on the end of my, on my end for the notes I'm taking. Let's see. DLC. Okay. So next up, we have Iron Hands, which people claim to be the 4th best fighting type in UU, and I could not disagree more. I would argue that this is at least the 2nd best. Like, maybe it's behind Okie Dokie. If you said Okie Dokie was the best fighting type in UU, I would disagree, but I wouldn't call you insane. If you said it was the 3rd best, you know, behind Quaquavel and Okie Dokie, I would respect you a little bit less. And if you said it was the 4th best, then I would think you have no idea what you're yapping about, because Gyarados, for as much as I was saying it's underrated, it's not that good. So, Iron Hands. I read that as Iron Hands and was very confused for a sec. Okay. There it is. So, where is Iron Hands in usage? Well, I missed Iron Hands. Where? There it is. Okay. 10% usage. I mean, for how the offensive Pokemon look to be doing, that's not half bad. I mean, that's higher than, you know, Hydreigon, Thundurus, Okie Dokie. And if you want to go off usage stats alone, Iron Hands is the 2nd best fighting type in the tier. Only below the worst Pokemon ever made. So, okay, so you're going to be seeing leftovers a lot of the time. Why is that? Why is that? Leftovers? Well, I guess if you're running Drain Punch a lot more... Okay, you're running Drain Punch a lot more than Close Combat. Okay. That's cool. I also like that there's like a million different EV spreads for Iron Hands. That's always good to see. Instead of people just like, oh, max HP, max attack. Booster energy. I'm not normally a big fan of booster energy as a whole, but I will say, on a Pokemon like Iron Hands, if you bring it out late game, then the necessity to switch probably isn't great enough such that you can afford to run booster energy. That's my guess. Now, what I would like to know is who the hell's running Choice Band Iron Hands. I don't really understand that one. maybe this is just a piece of the metagame that I'm not, you know, deep enough into to understand. But I mean, come on. You would want to switch up your moves, especially if you're okay. Well, choice band. Okay, 17% of the time it's running Swords Dance, and 5 of that 17% is choice band, because that's definitely how math works. Definitely, I swear. So. I mean, yeah, by and large, it's going to be leftovers, sometimes AV. I really like Assault Vest Iron Hands. I mean, when I build Iron Hands, I usually, try and make it Assault Vest if I can afford it. One, because I don't like using Swords Dance on Iron Hands. I feel like it doesn't have too many weaknesses, type-wise. But the ones that it does have are significant enough to where, you wouldn't want to waste time Swords Dancing. I mean, if you can, like late game, then absolutely, you clear the way for a Iron Hands Swords Dance sweep late game. It's like, yeah, okay, this is just DPP all over again. Quick Claw. I think I know who the 3.75% is, but yeah. Let's see. Item is almost all the time. AV booster energy. Okay. So now I get to examine the EV spreads, which is very cool. Because, anyone familiar with the channel, me, or both, knows that I like myself a good EV spread. Oh, God. Excuse me. There's that lasagna come back up, I guess. So, okay, so a lot of them don't run max attack. I mean, just based on the ones that are being shown. Right? 56, 140, 16, 116. And that makes sense, right? With a Pokemon as bulky as that, like, okay. When you have that high of an HP stat, that high of an attack stat, and that low of a SpDef stat, and that low of a speed stat, it makes sense. You invest in a SpDef so you can live, both types of attacks. Put a little bit of speed in just to outrun some of the faster defensive Pokemon, so to speak. And you don't need that much attack if you're running Adamant, right? Which all of these sets are. I mean, what else are you going to run, right? Like Jolly now. Okay. So I'm going to write down lots of variation. Most don't go max. Don't go max attack. yeah. I mean, I guess this is one of those Pokemon. It's like you don't really know how much damage an attack is going to do to it until you've hit it, right? Um, there's not really much you can do about it. But I mean, it's part of the reason I like Iron Hands so much. It's such a versatile mon that there's really a lot you can do with it, and it's part of what gives its charm. You know, being commonly a tier that rewards so much creativity and so much thinking outside the box. So Iron Hands really does exemplify that. Um, God, this... I put my headphones back in and I'm taking them back out because this music is actually quite loud to me. And I'm not going to turn it down for a couple of reasons that I don't care to go into. Moves! Rain Punch, Swords Dance, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch. I'm surprised Earthquake isn't higher. I honestly am. As good of an option as Ice Punch is, I figured Earthquake would be a lot, more desired. Right? I mean, Sandy Shocks, you can... Wait, can't... Sandy Shocks... Pivot... My hands... Earthquake, okay. Oop. Okay, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you go AV, you can fit it. Maybe that's not the best example. But I mean... You know what? Maybe Earthquake isn't as good as I thought it was. I guess you get to hit up Dirge if you really want to. But if Earthquake Iron Hands is your last line of defense against Dirge, then you probably didn't make a great team. Well, if it's your only line of defense. And I mean, if it really comes down to it, I guess, Earthquake wouldn't be doing that much anyway. Okay. I guess Ice Punch, like, after an SD, chunks of Moongus. Hits up Sinistra. That's good. Yeah. So, that's cool. Look at Iron Hands real quick. Base 68 staff. Okay. Yeah, I just want to check what its bulk was. Yeah, 108 defense. God, that is just awesome. So, yeah. So you don't run close combat. On AV, I would understand not running close combat, but I don't know. If I'm lefties, I don't know if I really care about the defense drops. And if I'm at +2, Drain Punch just might do the job anyway. What am I saying? Okay, I read this and interpreted it as close combat is used more than Drain Punch. I don't know why. But yeah, okay, Drain Punch used more than close combat. Okay, that makes sense. Substitute. Substitute is crazy. But first, let me write this down. Train over CC. And SD is very common. Ice Punch best. Coverage. occasional sub. Okay. Why in God's name would you click substitute? For a Moongus. Oh, you're right. And if Rotom comes in, that's very true. Okay. I'm starting to see the vision now. You know, you block, you know, Skeledirge's Will-O-Wisp. I mean, even if Torch Song goes through sub, but who cares at that point? Because you get to SD. Oh god, my throat is really dry. Oh god. It's cold water. I don't like cold water, honestly. But, alright. The teammates. So, Iron Hands gets paired with Tornadus, Treads, Meow, Aloe, Heatran. Okay. So I'm not really looking at, like, most of these mons, because a lot of these mons, like, okay, yeah, it gets paired with these just because a lot of these mons have high usage rates. But, you know, Sandy Shocks, Ogerpon, Scizor, all very similar pair rates. So that tells me that it fits best as, like, a cleaner option on offense teams. So yeah. Maybe not a cleaner so much as a sweeper. The difference can be fairly negligible, especially on, you know, offense, you know, fast-paced teams, but no harm in making the distinction. Yeah, and then what else does this help do as a whole? How does it interact with the metagame? Let's see. As great offensive pressure in that it looks like it forces a lot of switches. It's like, okay, well, I have a move that would kill this Iron Hands, but I need more chip on it, so I'm gonna switch out. And then the Iron Hands user is like, okay, well, I either get a free hit or SD, so be my guest. Yeah. So offensive pressure. Like slower paced, bulky offense teams, maybe, that don't have that immediate firepower to help deal with it. Yeah, because it's like, okay, you know, I have, I don't know, fucking Volcanion and on a Iron Hands. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it doesn't have Earth power. It's like, well, okay, now, you know, you're not as immediately threatening, so Iron Hands uses its bulk to leverage that sort of thing against you. and not, it helps give it more turns to work with because it's not as immediately threatened. Not that, you know, Volcanion or, you know, whatever is weak, but it just has the bulk to withstand those hits long enough to be able to make significant progress. So that's cool. That's very awesome. Iron Hands is an awesome mon. So here, we now have, like, a top, you know, you could argue top 3 mon in the tier. I mean, you know, it's up for debate whether it's better than Torn. I wouldn't say it's better than Meowscarada, but Iron Treads. This thing is awesome. I typically run a defensive set because I think a like max speed, max attack set is generally a waste of Iron Treads' talent. You know, I like to be able to bring it in on, like, that. It switches into Scarf Meowscarada incredibly well. You know, you get a rapid spin. You know, even if you put it in if you put in just, let me think. I think if you put in 32 speed EVs, you're faster than non-choice Scarf Meowscarada after a rapid spin. You compare that with Ice Spinner, so, you know, after rocks, you might be able to kill it. You know, you live a flower trick, all that. Yeah. So, I know Iron Treads is at the top. So, oop. Yeah. So Leftovers is the most common, which surprises me because I feel like I see booster energy more often than not. Like, you get booster speed at the beginning of the game. You know, pretty much guarantee rocks. Because I don't even think, does Band Meowscarada? Let's see. Iron Treads. Yeah, no, that does nothing. Wait, what? That actually does no damage. Jesus. Am I missing something? I guess not. I guess Meowscarada is just, like, really weak and a terrible Pokemon. I swear I'm missing something. Okay. I remember Flower Trick. Like, I remember running, like, a max HP, max defense Treads, and Flower Trick did... It seemed like a bit more than 32 to 37, but... Hey, I'm not complaining. Yeah, so... Okay, so it looks like Lefties is the item people are going to be running. AV, I've been wanting to experiment with AV, but I haven't found the perfect opportunity to fit it. So, I don't know. I mean, because you could very well get away with EQ, Knock, Ice Spin, or Rapid Spin, and give rocks to another Pokemon. I just realized that the sound quality was, like, really bad for a sec. Probably more than a second. I wouldn't be surprised if the audio quality had been really bad for... Okay, whatever. Yeah, because the mic was hitting up against something. Whatever. So yeah. Leftovers, focus sash. I don't know. I don't really see that. Air balloon. I've seen it once, but let's see. Heavy duty boots is just a waste of an item slot. Lefty is booster. And the rare and elusive air balloon. Yeah, that makes sense. So Eevee is, yeah. Most of them are gonna be max HP, max attack, or max. Sorry, max. They're all gonna be max speed. It's just a matter of, are they max HP or max attack? Yeah, okay. Max speed of 1 of HP or attack. That one's pretty simple. Moves. Rapid spin, because yeah, Iron Treads is like pretty much the only good spinner in the tier. I mean, I guess Yu has Torkoal now. I forgot about that. That's so funny. Well, it's funny because Weather Wars are back, and Weather Wars were prominent at a point very early on into the generation, and so I used AV Tyranitar to win every Weather War ever. Yeah, and then, like, what else do you have? Fucking Quaquaval. I mean, fuck that thing, right? Yeah. So it runs Iron Head some of the time. Why is that? Why would it run Iron Head? For Weavile, I guess? You're not really threatened by it unless it has low kick. And if it has low kick, you don't want to stay in on the low kick. Because, you know, people aren't running max HP, max defense. I don't get it. Is it so you don't get walled by Galarian Weezing? Well, no, you wouldn't stay in on that either, because it just willows you and it defogs your rocks, and, you know, then what have you done? I don't know why. I don't know why you would run Iron Head. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Well, I guess now's as good a time as ever to look at the checks and counters. Now that I actually have them. Zumro, yes. Sinistra, Mandy. A lot of the time, you know, the Sinistra or Mandibuzz switch will be pretty telegraphed, and you can click knockoff, and then, you know, hey, that's always nice. You know, Mandibuzz, you can get up rocks and punish that coming into defog or U-turn or whatever. Sinistra, you know, taking that thing's leftovers away, like, hell yeah, I'll take that. Run wash. Okay. The stealth. Okay, so it's a common stealth rocker. So I imagine Stealth Rock is a lot more common on Booster. No? Probably not, just because, I mean, 75% of them run Stealth Rock, but 25% of them run Booster Energy, so. I mean, there's going to be some overlap, but. Huh. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying you can't run Stealth Rock on leftovers. Just trying to catch on to a pattern here. Okay, so let's see. Spin. EQ. Knock. Now I'm going to put these down as the rare and elusive. I cannot write today. Jesus Christ. Volt / Ironhead. Because those are definitely rare. Because, like... okay, I can understand Volt Switch, but I don't get Ironhead. I don't understand it. Whatever. So you see this paired with Torn, Masquerada, Amoonguss. Okay, so you see paired with Rain, because the Amoonguss, Pelipper, Thundurus kind of thing. Yeah. And then Skeledirge. So you can use it to form bulky cores, as I have done before. Yeah, okie dokie. I imagine the poisoning ability is pretty nasty, you know, with rocks up. Oop. So it helps beat, and I'm using helps beat as an umbrella term, just like, okay, what does it do for your team a lot of the time? It, more often than not, is going to allow your team to... I'm just using filler words at this point. Fuck it. Hazard support plus bulky pivoting. Sure. I mean, this one, it's like, you know, I've played the tier enough. I think I know what Iron Treads does. I mean, not that I haven't learned anything by looking at this, you know. Ironhead, you know, Volt Switch, those are run occasionally. It's good to know. Yeah. Some Masquerada. This thing. Okay. A lot of the time it's... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Some of them... Okay. Okay, so some of them run Overgrow. Why would you do that? Is it for, like, trick? Maybe, like, you want to use knockoff and then use flower trick, but keep stab on both of them? That's probably for, like, flower trick, knockoff, sucker punch, U-turn, where you don't really need the stab on, you know, play rough, for example. That's probably what it is. Let me write this down. Item. It's a lot of time. It's choice band. It's choice band more than it is choice scarf. Okay. It's also heavy duty boots a lot of the time. I feel like I don't see heavy duty boots that much, but hey, I mean the data really does speak for itself. I just had this thought. What if this is all just completely futile? Not because, you know, DLC 2 is going to drop probably like tomorrow or whatever. And but like what if this is just like futile because I mean think about it this way. The UU meta is changing a lot right now. So what if, you know, what if like the spikes, this 28, this like 29% spikes, what if that's a result of a trend of, what if that's a product of trends in, you know, the beginning of the month, as opposed to, you know, now the metagame's settled, Spikes Meowscarada isn't really seen much these days. That's very possible. I would also like to know what Meowscarada isn't running fucking knockoff or flower trick. I would like to meet whoever isn't running, you know, either of those moves. Because, I mean, both of them are... I mean, you would think they're both required, right? Surely. But hey, what do I know? So band is used about as much as scarf, and that's used about as much as heavy duty boots. And then sash is used, it's seen occasionally. Yeah, so Eevee's like, come on. Like, wait. What? What is this? What special move does Meowscarada run? What does it run? Leaf Storm? That's the only thing I can think of. Oh, wait. Maybe because I've seen like Focus Sash Leaf Storm plus spikes on lead sets, and then like the last moves are taunt U-turn or whatever. Maybe that's it. That's what I'm guessing it is. I was gonna just not write anything down for the EVs, but hey, now I have something to jot. Leaf Storm on lead. Leaf Storm on lead spike sets. Okay. Moves. Okay. So I didn't know how common Play Rough was. Did it? Oh my god. YouTube that I was still watching. Because, you know, I don't actually put the music into these videos. That would require editing. And, Lord knows I would never do that. I fucked up again. Okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Copium, copium, copium. Hold on. Okay, it's fine. I hope it'll be fine. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then. Ah. There. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop overthinking this. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, so it runs Play Rough a good chunk of the time. Some lead spike sets. Occasional sucker punch. Yeah. Then what does it get paired with? I mean, really, just fucking everything. Because, like, it's Meowscarada. And it's on 20% of teams. It's paired with. It looks like it. I mean, it just fits on faster offense teams, which you can't really get from looking at the teammates section. You just kind of have to. This is when you just kind of have to like have played enough of the metagame to know. Let's see, fast, pace, offense. very deadly cores. Okay. So, it helps. It's a great offensive pivot. Yeah, I mean, because Scarf Meowscarada is the fastest thing in the tier. So it gets a million chances to just U-turn around and knock off and get in the game or whatever. Yeah, I guess it's a good enabler Pokemon, right? It helps bring in, other stuff. It gives them an easier time by removing, leftovers, for example, or something to that effect. Yeah, because it's like, okay, well, you get the fast U-turn, so you're risking a teammate taking damage, but the same Pokemon you're U-turning on might not want to, eat a Flower Trick, so that kind of puts them in a bind, right? So yeah, it's good because I never, I kind of understood why Meowscarada was so good, but I didn't understand what exactly it was good at. So now now I know. It's just, it's not exactly getting kills left and right, although it is good at that. But it primarily functions as just a really good pivot that enables so much of its team. So I guess that's why it fits onto so many teams. And maybe that's why, Iron Treads and Tornadus are so high. They enable so many other Pokemon. Like, Tornadus helps enable, what does it help enable? I don't know, I'm just looking for an example. It helps enable probably Sandy Shocks, probably Scizor, right? Just as examples. Or probably Weavile is a better one. Yeah. So yeah, Yu really likes its enablers. That's a very simple way of putting it, but I mean, essentially, yeah. It's kind of what I'm getting here. Okay. Okie dokie. What the fuck are you? I know nothing about this guy. Other than its ability, and it gets, like, moves that it definitely shouldn't have. Toxic Chain. This Pokemon's moves have a 30% chance of badly poisoning. Okay. So, like, I can use Close Combat and have a 30% chance of toxicing. That's so awesome. That's so incredibly cool and sick and swag. Yeah, so it's got pretty good bulk. I mean, if it looks like you could go with a Spadef bulk up set. I think I've seen a couple of those around. Max HP doesn't hit a leftovers number, unfortunately. It only needed 2 more base HP, but yeah, I mean, you run something like, or, well, this, like, there you go. Good bulk upset. Like, that's really good special bulk. 88 by 86 for an offensive mon is not bad at all. And surely gets Drain Punch, so you can just heal that back, right? Yeah. Drain Punch, leftovers, you can run Knockoff, Ice Punch. Last could be, Taunt if you wanted. or you could just go bulk up. Maybe bulk up 2 attacks wouldn't be the worst thing ever. I mean, honestly, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, bulk up Taunt might just do it, right? Maybe. See, let's see. I'm sorry, what? Y'all, I can't make this up. Illuminate. That's mad funny. I mean, obviously they mean Toxic Chain, but I'm amazed that that mistake even happened. What I want to know is, why would you run guard? What the fuck? Oh, these are the abilities for that legendary. Why would you run guard dog? Let's look at all the intimidate mons in the tier. Arcanine and Salamence, great. And you don't really want to. Well, Salamence you don't want to stay in on. Arcanine, if you have a couple bulk ups, then maybe. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why people would run. Okay. I don't know why people would run guard dog. That just seems like a waste. I mean, you live for that long. It's like, yeah, you can just spread so much poison if you're just staying alive the entire time with your, defenses and Drain Punch healing and all that stuff. Yeah. I guess the downside is, you get walled out by, well, with the, set I was thinking of, you get walled by Slowking. That's about it, really. Azumarill. Yeah, so what does this thing actually run? Because I should be getting into that and not just trailing off. Okay, Leftovers Choice Scarf. That thing runs Choice Scarf? Base 80 speed? I guess it outruns some stuff. I guess they're outrunning non-scarfers, but I don't know if I could get behind Scarf. Obviously, Covert Cloak is obviously Covert Cloak is for Garg, which no longer here. I wonder if Garg even beat this 1v1 because it just Drain Punch and get the health back. After Salt Cure, you're only taking like 6.25% per turn. Well, maybe Earthquake will wear you down eventually, but I don't know. You get a bulk up and then, yeah. AV. An interesting idea. I don't know. I feel like AV kind of puts you into a box. You don't get as many options. It seems like you would, but you kind of have to run stabs, then knock off, and then what's the last, right? I don't know. I don't think I'd be a big fan of AV. Yeah. Let's So lefties. Choice. AV. So for the EVs, okay, bit of variety here. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's one super agreed upon set for this. Now that might be because it has enough bulk to where you can play around with, you know, not going, you know, max HP or whatever. You know, it's not fast enough to justify going max speed. But yeah, a lot of them lean toward being, you know, physically bulky by the looks of it. Oop, dropped my pencil. So a lot of them are FizzDef. Minimum speed. I mean, looking at this, I'd be inclined to say that, no, oh wait, no. This one, the Careful Nature one, that is especially defensive. So I guess with this, you don't really get a very good idea of, you know, what exactly it wants to run as far as EVs go. It's kind of like the Iron Hand situation where, you know, you don't really know how it's invested until you actually hit it. So it's definitely worth noting. It runs knockoff more than Drain Punch. Well, I guess it can swap. I guess for fighting move, it can swap Drain Punch for close combat. Knockoff doesn't really have that same option. It doesn't have another Dark type move by the looks of it. Yeah, you're not using Lash Out. Yeah. And then Bulk Up. Okay, yeah, so Bulk Up set. Poison Jab. Less common than Gunk Shot. I don't know. If I'm a Bulk Up Okie I don't know if I would want to risk the miss. I don't know. Maybe the idea is, you know, you live long enough to be able to risk that. But substitute Poison Fang. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so moves. Knock off. Drain. That looks like a B, so it looks like it says brain. See drain more than you see CC. CCC. That's funny. See more gunks. You see poison jabs. And then you see the rare sub or ice punch. Yeah. So what does this pair with? It pairs with Hydreigon. Does... Yeah, okay, so in my notes, Hydreigon does pair with Okie, so that's consistent with what I've written, just making sure. Paired with, Dragon. Like bulkier momentum cores. Oh. That's not how an E is supposed to look. It also pairs with Sinistra, so if you're feeling incredibly dishonest, you can run Spadef, Bulk Up, Okidogi, and Fizdef, Calm Mind, Sinistra. Yeah, in case, you know, you feel like not having any fun that day. I totally understand. And then... Oh. And then it just kind of sets up on bulkier mons. Cool. Oh. And realize the tab was being displayed like that. Is YouTube really gonna ask me if I'm still watching? It did. It asked me if I was still watching. And I am not. What time is it? Wow, I've been here a while. Cool. It seems like it hasn't been that long because this recording has only been, you know, 117, an hour, 17 minutes, but yeah, it sets up on bulkier mons. Uses its own to spread poison. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, looking at it further, it makes sense why Okidogi would be good. Like, on paper, it seems like okay, but the more I'm looking at, you know, trends and what certain mons are running, like, I figured Iron Hands would, you know, beat this more often than not because of, you know, Earthquake and SD, but no, it doesn't even run that a lot of the time. And if they're running Spadef, like max HP even, then it blanks Hydreigon. You know, it can even, if it really wants to, it can come in on a Weavile. Yeah, very interesting. I just might have to try that out sometime. Oh my god. If I get Quaquaval over with, I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it later. On the contrary, I can just do Quaquaval later, which will probably make me put off, you know, analyzing the tier as much as I am for later. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 7 because Heatran's gone. I've done this for 7 mons. This is quite the process. I mean, it's definitely useful though. Like now I have a lot better idea of, you know, how certain mons interact and, you know, what kind of teams they fit on. You know, like if I see, you know, if I see this item, then I can assume it's running, you know, XYZ moves. So, and it's definitely good information. So hopefully this ends up being worthwhile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I got 9 more mons in high tier left to do. Yeah. You could argue that this is just a waste of time and pointless, but I don't really care. Yeah, it's good to be back, but yeah, I'm excited to get back into this. I'm not super worried about my tournament match, you know, I'm fairly confident in my teams, and my opponent is not nearly as much of a UU fiend as I. So he's definitely a good player, but honestly, I like my odds of winning. I really do. So yeah, I guess I'll just pick this up later. I might do some more of this later today. But yeah, I don't think I have much more to add. Yeah, I don't. If I had anything else, then I don't remember it. So I will see all 0